Good morning, everybody. Craig here with Catfish Yakking, and I am out on the river. It's approximately 10 after 7, and it is foggy. So I'm hanging out by the docks for a little bit until this fog lifts enough that I can work my way across the river and see what we can get for catfish. So take a ride along with me and let's see what we can do. All right, hooked up with my first catfish here on the back rod, which has the smaller sponge on it. So this is going to be a little fish, but he's turning my kayak. Let's get him up here and see what we got. He's a nice little catfish there. Not too bad. He's probably going to throw a fit when I get him near the kayak. No, not too much. He's actually hooked in the roof of his mouth, which is a little unusual. Hook comes right out, and he's going to go a couple pounds probably. But at least we got the skunk out there. Let's go ahead and turn him loose. There he goes. All right, it feels like I've got one on this back rod here, so we're going to check it out. But it feels like there's some pull to it. Doesn't feel like a big one. No, it's just a small one. See if we can get him in here though. Those small ones, they like to really put up a fight at the top of the water. I think they do it just to try to see how much water they can get on me and in my kayak. There we go. Sometimes I can get the hook just to come right out with my fingers, and then other times, even though I don't have a barb on here, sometimes it's still tough to get it out a little bit. But just a little guy there. So we'll go ahead and turn him loose. There he goes. So while I have a minute, I want to show everybody this glob of slime here. The catfish are coated in that, and that slime layer actually helps protect them from bacterial infections. So I try not to handle the fish any more than I have to keep that slime layer on them and keep them protected. And again, that's part of the reason I use the barbless hooks, is it helps to get the hooks out easier and keeps the fish healthier so they can swim for another day. All right, looks like I picked up another one on this back rod. Now, of course, the back rod, the sponge is only half the size of the sponge on the front rod, so that front rod's not going to get hit very often. I did get a hit on it when I first got anchored, and I ended up losing it because by the time I grabbed the fishing rod, he had let go of it. Well, that's not a bad size fish. That's probably 3 pounds. And he's got himself wrapped up here, it looks like. They roll like that, and then they get the leader wrapped around their mouth, and then I can't get their mouth open. So I'll let him go here. And a lot of times they'll roll out of it. Let's see here. Let's see. Now he's got it wrapped around his fin, so I'm going to have to... Oh, there it goes. There it comes. All right, now we can work with him here. I like to press them up against the kayak because they can't roll then, and it makes it a lot easier to get them loose here. But he's talking to me, and he's trying to splash me too. Yeah, he's got this all wrapped up around him here. So I'm going to turn the camera off here for a second, I think. Yeah, and see if I can get him undone. All right, there he is. Once I was able to find the hook, it was easy just to pop it out and get that line unwrapped. So let's go ahead and send him back down. He still has a lot of energy. He does not want to give up. Let's go ahead and release him. There he goes. All right, I just had a hit on this back rod, and I don't know if he's still on there or if he come off. No, he come off. Still have quite a bit of fog around. I lost an hour waiting for the fog to lift enough to where it was safe to come on across the river. But it's taken its time to get out of here. But over here where I am, it's clearing up quite a bit. You can see right there the shoreline. But when you look out in the middle of the river, it's still got quite a bit of fog to it. All right, got another hit on that back rod. They just won't take that big sponge right now. They can't get it, the whole thing in their mouth, so they go for the smaller one. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, another 2-pounder. I'll go ahead and get him unhooked. Show here. These circle hooks tend to hook fish in the corner of the mouth most of the time, but every once in a while I'll get one in the roof of the mouth or the bottom. We'll go ahead. Now that front rod just got hit. Trying to get this hook without pinching his whisker. Whiskers are actually called barbels. Just a little guy there. But I'll turn him loose because the front rod's getting hit right now. Let's see if I can turn that over that you can see that. See if we got a fish on there or not. Nope, he come off. Well, sure enough. Again, I'm only in about 5 feet of water right now, but this catfish came up close enough and liked what he saw, or what he tasted. And I got quite a bit bigger sponge on, and it looks like he's barely hooked. I took off that smaller sponge, and the front rod just got hit. So it looks like they're coming up in this shallow water right now, so maybe I better hang out for a few minutes and see what happens. This is a little bit bigger fish here. It's always nice when they open their mouth up nice and wide. Yeah, and he come right out. That's a nice looking little fish right there. Go ahead and turn him loose and get that sponge back in. There he goes. So you can see that front rod, the sponge got turned completely sideways, and that's what they do a lot of times, is they'll grab it and roll and end up turning that sponge sideways. So if your sponge comes back up sideways like that, you know you had a fish on for sure. I'll re-dip it and see if we can get him. All right, folks, I'm about to wrap it up here. This really has turned out to be quite a bummer of a day, because first I had to wait an hour for the fog to lift, and the first hour the current starts running is usually produces the best fish. Well, and I just had a bite on this back rod, but he come off, And then also I've been battling these big patches of grass right here was coming through right where I wanted to be anchored. So I had to end up moving a lot closer to shore where I'm only in about probably 5-6 feet of water. The catfish are still coming up because they're chasing bait fish up in the shallow water. But we'll see if we can get one more here in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna call it a day.